네, 근데 신경이 쓰이는데요? 매우 신경 쓰이는데? 뭐야 이거? 왜 일로 가져 있어? 맞다.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute.
사실 여기서 좀 더 생각할 필요가 있겠네요. 잠깐 빙빙 돌고 계세요.
Okay. So I know
자, 각각의 문들은 어딘가로 이어져 있을 것이고,
which means that somewhere the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin.
뭔 개소리예요.
So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
안 열려. 아이씨. 여기도 안 열리네. 무조건 가야 되네, 절로. 아. 변하는 게 없네. 뭐야, 이게.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now,
이미 결정나
according to the
있었다고?
schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really?
그러니까 여기서 이제
I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
여기에 써져 있다고? 나레이션 하는 사람이 이제 잃어버린다고?
Does that mean did we do it? Did we break the cycle?
이 계획을 만든 어떤 것 말이에요.
Whatever it is that made this schedule, how would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
왼쪽 문도 여기네. 근데 이제 보니까
So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the
이것도 하나의 엔딩이라고요?
or the journey. Though they're all
미친놈?
saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if
헐.
all of his co-workers were gone.
얘 까먹었어.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
얘 진짜 까먹었어.
memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
미친. 나레이션 새끼 정신 났네. 방금 뭐 있었는데? 뭐라 써져 있었는데, 중요한 내용 같은 게. 여기 문 2개 있다. 문 2개 있어. 여기서 어떻게 해야 되지?
When Stan, perhaps he wanted to stop
나 일로
by
갈
the
거니까.
employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes. This
일단 빠르게
room.
가볼게요.
But eager to get
저기
back
살 수
to
있는 게
business,
없었어.
Stanley took the first open door on his left.
여기 또 뭐야?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
여기 뭐야? 희한한 곳이로군. 뭐 있나? 카드를 긁어야 되네. 가봐.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you.
가자, 일로.
What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen?
조용히 해, 이 새끼야.
Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
닫혀있군.
Let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
증명 같은 거 필요 없다. 뭐 있나? 아무것도 없군. 평범한 창고야. 오, 닫혔어.
Now listen carefully. This is important.
어우, 스탠리는 빨간 문으로 들어갔어요.
Through the red door.
근데 왜 둘 다 열어줘? 그렇다면 어느 것을 고를까요? 알아맞혀 보세요. 딩동댕동 척척 박사님 알려주세요. 오, 그래.
Aha. Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Shut up!
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
뒤에 있네? 일 갈 건데?
Alright, fine. Go
아,
ahead,
그래요,
Stanley.
그래요.
You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen?
그래, 이 오랑우탄 혓바닥 같은 새끼야. 내 맘대로 한다고.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer
개발용
textures.
텍스처?
Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end it was all
뭐지?
for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill
Skill tree?
Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before.
오,
Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
싫은데요?
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
이게 뭐지?
A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations. You saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically.
1점.
But a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
새로운 버전의 게임을 만들었다고? 여기? 왼쪽 가야지.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
1점.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting.
안 볼
You
건데?
wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In
에?
this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game.
그냥 아주 의미 있는
All about the
게임이에요.
desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life.
아이를 오른쪽으로 밀어내라고?
Really take notice.
오른쪽에 벽이 있는데?
But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective?
아, 이 새끼가 지금
Be sure
장난질하다
to take
지금.
notes on your experience.
네 시간 동안 해야 돼? 아, 나가는 문. 나가는 문이 없네? 미안해.
You heartless bastard.
냉혈한 놈.
Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What
예,
do we
뭐가
have
있더라.
here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that.
많이 보던 게임인데.
Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this.
발소리도
I'm done
똑같아.
doing things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley.
전 집을 만들
I'm
거예요.
going to build a house. This will go
소리도 똑같아.
here. No, here. And then
뭐야 이거? 만들고 있네?
let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel
아니
ashamed that
내가 뭘 했다고 내가 왜 무능력해?
But you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
아, 저 안에 들어가면 뭐 있을 것 같은데 이거. 어? 저 안에 들어가기 싫은데 이거. 그래.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamonds.
채광을 하러 가야 된다고요?
Everything. Yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
어디? 일로 오라고요? 채광. BGM 미친. 똑같네 완전
Looks like
그래픽이.
it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
등불 어떻게? 아니요, 등불 없는데요? 어디로 가면 되는 거죠? 그래요, 다이아가 필요해요.
Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5.
그냥 빨리 내려가자.
Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay,
Oh.
new game.
에?
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it.
죄송합니다.
You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this
포탈이잖아,
game
이거.
supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this
완전
is.
똑같네. 소름 돋네. 이제 뭐 하라는 거죠? 열렸어. 좋아요, 갑시다. 아우, 이거 퍼즐 게임이군요. 예리한 사거리요.
Stanley, your forte.
자,
Genius.
천재군요.
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty.
아,
I really
그냥
don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough.
이 아래로 내려가라는 것
why don't you
같은데.
get cozy in this room, and if you have any grand revolutionary idea...
내려갈 건데? 여긴 어디지? 사무실! 세트장! 사무실 세트장! 뭐지? 어디로 가야 되지? 그냥 여기에 있으라고요? 그런 게 어딨어요. 날 좀 어떻게 좀 해봐요. 저 좀 구해줘봐요. 그냥 내려가면 죽을 것 같은데? 나레이션 이 쌍놈의 새끼야. 내려가자. 여기 어디지? 일로 가볼까? 닫혔어. 절로만 갈 수 있네? 여기도 열려있고. 여기는 어디지? 똑같은 곳이네. 이럴 때는 스승님께서 오른쪽 벽만 따라가면 된다고 말씀하셨지. 오른쪽 벽만을 따라가라. (427) 뭐야 이거? 뭐가 있는 건가요? 확대 안 되나? 뭔가 나오고 있는 것 같은데? 아무것도 안 되네.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned
그리고
the
그에 따른
cost that
대가로
comes
많은 걸
with it.
배웠는지도 말이에요.
He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world.
뭔 뜻이지?
Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
기다리겠어요.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that
명령이
the
멈춘
orders
걸까요?
stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never
내가 뭔가
stopped.
실수했겠지.
Surely I was mistaken.
희한한 소리가 나네. 아무것도 안 되나? 그냥 가자. 갈 수 있는 곳이 없다.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his
또
left.
왼쪽 문으로 가야 되나? 아, 의자 밟고 간 거야. 이쪽.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But
조용히 좀 해라, 이
back to
자식아.
business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
이리로 가면 똑같은 곳이잖아. 여기에서 저 위로 해갖고 가봐야지. 저 위로 가봅시다.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong
이 아래로 가볼까?
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
저 아래에 또 길이 있네.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very
이런
powerful.
씨부랄. 그냥 죽는군.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could
그냥
it mean?
가보자.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
결국 따르는 수밖에 없군.
When Stanley came to a set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room.
왼쪽
And
문으로 가서 할 수
Stanley
있는 건 다 했어.
well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first.
음유시인님
just to
감사합니다. 아까 별풍선 주셨었군요.
Standing now in this incredible room,
애프터
Stanley
이펙트님
took a foot up,
감사합니다.
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
닫혀있나? 설마 했는데. 이러면 똑같네.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. hoping he
열려.
might find an answer. Stanley stepped into the broom
나 아무것도
closet,
없네?
but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on
아무것도
track.
없다고? 예, 뭔가 있나? 그래서 다시 걸어 나왔다고? 새끼, 뭔가 있나 보군. 찾아내고
There was
말겠다.
nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to.
여기에 뭔가 있어 분명히. 샹놈의 새끼. 가만히 있을 거야 나.
It was baffling.
자꾸 나오라고 하는 거
Stanley
보니까 뭐
was
있어.
just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some
아무것도
way.
하지 않고 있었습니다? 나 뭔가 할
He's
거야.
literally just standing there.
아니야, 나 뭐 할 거야.
FA.
나 이거 구경하고 있어요. 와, 화장지다. 와, 남자방의 필수품 화장지다. 우와.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
뭐 아무것도 안 해요. 나 지금 화장지 구경하고 있는데 이거.
Please offer me some
와,
explanation and-
몽키 스패너도 있네. 이걸로 당신의 대가리를 후려치고 싶군요. 아, 여기 청소 도구하면 너무 신나.
You realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
언급할 생각조차 못했어?
I never would have thought to
의외지 이 자식아.
Maybe
해봐.
to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk
이걸
about this
친구들에게
to
말할
a
때가
friend,
온다면
you'll say,
이렇게
"Oh,
말하겠죠.
did you get the
청소도검
broom
엔딩
closet
봤어. 나
ending?
청소도검
The
엔딩이
broom
제일
closet ending was
좋더라.
my favorite. I hope your friends find this concerning.
그래, 청소도검 엔딩 보여줘 그러면.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how
뭐
stupid.
가만히 있다 미친놈이 알렉스 화분 깨는 소리 하고 있어.
Also, Stanley
괜히
was addicted to
빡도니까.
drugs and hookers.
에이, 빡도니까 쫄보 새끼, 멍청한 새끼.
You got to this broom closet.
안 죽었는데? 나 지금 숨 쉬고 있는데? 나 지금 산소를 이산화탄소로 바꾸고 있습니다.
Shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to
좀 입 닥치고 가만히 있으면 안 되겠니?
Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the
그냥 조용히 하고
history
있으면 안
of
돼?
narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
안 나갈 건데? 안 나갈 건데? 난 여기가 정말 좋아. 마치 횡성 같아. 횡성에 있는 아름다운 들판 같은 곳이야. 아주 안락한 공간. 와리가리. 빨리 뭘 좀, 뭐 엔딩 좀 보여줘봐. 이 낙타 발바닥 같은 놈아. 아무것도 안 하나? 그래.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
기다린다고요? 알았어.
coming to a staircase.
Ah!
He walks up
Ah!
to the boss's office.
안돼! 아, 씨부랄!
페이크다 이 병신들아!
당했군. 아. 그렇다면 난 아래층으로 내려가겠다. 닫혀있군. 내가 이리로 갈 거라고 생각도 못했겠지?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was
사장은 스탠리가 미쳤다고 생각할 겁니다. 어떤 생각이 스탠리의 뇌리를 스쳤습니다.
Maybe I am crazy. All of my coworkers blinking
내가 미친 걸지도 몰라. 그건 아닌 것 같은데.
For no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
오.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming!
이건 꿈일 거야.
This is all a dream. Oh, what
똑같은
a
곳이네.
relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float
Oh.
around. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared.
Oh.
It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there
왜 내 머릿속에서 내가 하는 행동과 생각하는 모든 것을 지시하는 목소리가 들리지?
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing
난 지금
me,
목소리가 내
thinking
생각을
about
묘사하고
how
있는
it's
것에 대해
describing
생각하고
my
있는 나에
thoughts.
대해 묘사를 하고 있는 목소리에 대한
And
꿈을
while he
꾸고
thought it all
있어.
very odd,
뭔 개소리야 저게?
This voice spoke to all people in their dreams. The truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact
이건
a dream.
역시 꿈이
Did the
아니었군.
voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he
꿈이
closed his
아니잖아.
eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the
네?
fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me
매트릭스.
wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let
다명?
me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
아니.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss.
왜 갑자기 소리를 질러?
I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone